Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. It looks like the IMF is weighing in on the US economy. IMF expects the US economy to experience high inflation for at least another year or two. This brought to us by Michael Branch here on Twitter. So what are they saying? The International Monetary Fund, or the IMF, expects the US economy to experience high inflation for at least another year or two. And here's a quote from Geeta Gopinath, the managing director of the IMF. "I would be careful about looking at one data point from the US, is what she said. The first deputy managing director of the International Monetary Fund, Geeta Gopinath, discussed global inflation in the U.S. economy in an interview with Bloomberg on Friday in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Responding to a question about whether global inflation has peaked, she said, "I think it's way too early to say. Yes, we have inflation almost everywhere. There are important exceptions like China and Japan, but everywhere else we have high levels of inflation. There are global factors like energy prices and food prices that are driving it, but there are also kind of more sticky components of inflation that are high." I wonder why. Maybe a controlled demolition of the entire monetary system? I think that could be a reason anyway. On Friday, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell stressed in his annual Jackson Hole speech that the central bank will use the tools at their disposal to forcefully attack inflation, which is still running near its highest level in more than 40 years. He expects the Fed to continue raising interest rates in a way that will cause some pain in the U.S. economy. So he is saying we are looking, or rather it is looking as though there will be more pain before it gets better, which I guess could mirror what the IMF is saying about inflation, another year or two perhaps. Commenting on Powell's speech, Gopinath opined what was great was that he came out as being firm and resolute about bringing inflation down to target, making sure inflation expectations don't get de-anchored, and that, I think, is exactly what you need to make sure that the economic health of the world is in a good place over the medium to long term. Long and the short of it, though, it doesn't look like inflation is stopping anytime soon. It looks like we could be in for another, as they put it, year or two of medium to long-term pain before we get some quote-unquote gain. I don't know what a gain would be, if it would be a reprieve from the inflation, if it would be inflation rates actually going lower, or if it just stabilizes or what. Anyway, this is what the IMF specifically is projecting right now. And so I guess the question remains, is the IMF, do they have a plan in order to help mitigate inflation? Well, there could be something that they're dabbling with that I'm going to get to a bit later on in this video. First, I just wanted to bring you guys this announcement here from James Rule XRP, just a bit of a public service announcement that there are some people here that are being duped into thinking that they're being contacted by Ledger, the Ledger Nano company. Hilan from Ledger, Katie from Ledger, Milan from Ledger, Katie from Ledger. Anyway, it's basically the same kind of message. Your Ledger may be vulnerable, and a reminder to do this, do that. And this is just a public service announcement. Attention, this is not Ledger. Never share any info, passwords, recovery phrases, so on and so forth, because these guys are just out to scam you and steal your cryptocurrency. So, I mean, they know the Ledger is a very popular device. I personally have one myself. I love keeping my cryptocurrency on a cold storage solution. I have an affiliate link for the Ledger in the description of the video, and that affiliate link will actually bring you directly to Ledger's website. So this is the problem. If some people buy a Ledger from a third-party source or buy a Ledger used, that already has a seed phrase or a recovery phrase included in the package, this is a prime example of how scammers can scam you out of your cryptocurrency, because some people don't know how to use these properly, and so they just think like, oh, here's my recovery phrase, and the Ledger's given it to me already. You put your crypto on the Ledger and the hackers steal it straight from you. So, from time to time we see these scams. Just make sure that if you are looking to get a Ledger, get it from a reliable resource. Again, I have an affiliate link in the description. You can use it if you want. You don't have to use it, but it will bring you directly to Ledger's website. Anyway, want to keep moving, guys. Wanted to thank James Rule XRP, though, first for posting that. This one from John Deaton. Since Crypto Wendy O and I discussed the Crypto Leaks post with videos of attorney Roche, I think it's fair to post this statement regarding the matter. I will resist the temptation to comment. Now, if you guys remember, in yesterday morning's video, I talked a little bit about Kyle Roche and his statement regarding getting Brad Garlinghouse on board to invest in this company that was going around and suing different crypto projects, which I'm sure was categorically false. If you guys didn't catch that video, yesterday's video, I will link it up here in the top right-hand corner. Well, apparently now he has made a statement, my statement concerning the Crypto Leaks story, And his statement is here, a posting on the recently launched anonymous crypto leaks website about me. My firm Ava Labs contains numerous unsourced false statements and illegally obtained highly edited video clips that are not presented with accurate context. These videos were recorded without my consent, so on and so forth. He thought he was in a meeting for something else, and then he was recorded secretly. Mr. Anger Hansen requested a meeting with me under false pretense of venture capital investment in a technology startup, but his real motives are now clear: to deceive and entrap me. So he's blaming it on this guy, Mr. Ager Hansen. My firm has represented Ava Labs since 2019, or Ava Labs. Contrary to what is presented in the recent unsourced posting by Crypto Leaks, there is not and never has been a secret pact between my firm and Ava Labs. We vigorously deny any allegations of impropriety. Our work with Ava Labs is focused on defense side cases typical of any large corporation. Ava Labs has had no input, control, or insight into any of our firm's plaintiff side class action cases, and we have never filed a class action on their behalf or at their request. Then he goes on to some of the video clips that were posted in that article, and he says they were highly edited, spliced out of context, and he said that they even tried to intoxicate him to get him to say things using leading questions. What the posting fails to note is that our firm's plaintiff side practice has remained a source of disagreement in our relationship with Ava Labs, and they have criticized our pursuit of many such cases. Of all things, with Eamon Gu-Sir and the rest of the Ava Labs team, they have always acted with the highest integrity. They have never asked that I do anything underhanded, illegal, or of questionable ethics, and I never would. Mr. Ager Hansen and Mr. Williams' brazen attempts to intimidate me, my firm, and the class we present will not work. We will remain resolute in defending ourselves against their underhanded, false, and deceptive tactics against us. No mention here of the Brad Garlinghouse thing or that statement, though. He does sound like he is contradicting a lot of this. He's saying it's false. So, I mean, I don't know where that part stands. Maybe it was the side who was trying to defame Mr. Roche that posted that little detail in there that wasn't true. Anyway, we know from Brad Garlinghouse that it wasn't true. I'm surprised he did not mention this, considering I believe it was probably the XRP community who brought this to light. Anyway, wanted to thank John Deaton just for posting that, just to clear the air. And also just down here, Crypto Eddie posted this just to add to the balance. Here is the full video of the disguised voice, Christian Ager Hansen. That was also uploaded about 6 hours ago, so if you guys want to check that video out, it's there for you as well. Then we have MoneyGram. This one from Matthew, L-I-N-Y, MoneyGram allowing customers blockchain settlement using their API plugin. Now, we know MoneyGram currently has a partnership with XLM. So, through this API plugin, are they onboarding customers like Simply Financial, and I believe the other one was CIBC. So here they say Simply Financial continues innovation by offering clients no-fee same-day cash pickup abroad through MoneyGram with its global money transfer service. And also here we have CIBC continues innovation by offering clients no-fee same-day cash pickup abroad through MoneyGram with its global money transfer service. Now, for those of you guys who do not know, CIBC is a parent company of Simply Financial. So this is kind of two in the same. But here's what they're saying here. We are extremely pleased to announce our latest successful integration with Simply Financial. This coming from Grant Lyons, Chief Revenue Officer at MoneyGram. Through our modern mobile and API-driven platform, Simply has been able to seamlessly plug into our global network and provide expanded services for their clients. The company leverages its modern mobile and API-driven platform and collaborates with the world's top brands to serve consumers through its direct-to-customer digital channel, global retail network, and embedded finance business for enterprise customers. MoneyGram is also a leader in pioneering cross-border payment innovation and blockchain-enabled settlement. So this last line here, MoneyGram is a leader in pioneering cross-border payments. Of course, they did partnership with Ripple. They really wanted to make that partnership work. They had to pivot to Stellar XLM because of the possible problems with XRP and it being in court with the SEC. So they did pivot. They are using another WEF-approved cryptocurrency. And so they're saying, we are the leader in pioneering cross-border payments using distributed ledger technology. So it could be using that. They're using the API plugin to be able to settle with XLM. We do not know yet. Stellar Skull just down here saying, over 4.6 million transactions were made today on the Stellar network, and all the transaction fees combined equal to about $135. So this is the beauty of the blockchain and DLT systems and cryptocurrencies like XLM or XRP. You're really not going to see those high expensive fees when transferring payments because it's fractions of pennies. That's all it costs to send a payment over the XRPL, for example, or the Stellar blockchain. Anyway, some interesting news here and an interesting update with regards to MoneyGram and Stellar. Wanted to thank Matt here for posting that. But shifting gears from the retail side to enterprise-grade cross-border transfer solutions, another one, guys, from Matthew Liny, the G20. Are they working in collaboration with the IMF, and are they creating a debt transparency platform using DLT technology? Well, it looks as though they are, and he's got two questions here. Is Ripple involved, and will XRP be implemented? Phase 2 of the trading platform. So just in brief here, time to implement a tech-driven sovereign debt transparency initiative. So debt transparency, an interesting term here, something that we don't really hear about or talk about too much. Concepts, design, and policy actions. Continuing on down here, we can see. So the key proposal of this paper is to establish an independent, open access, tech-driven debt transparency platform, or a DTP, that can be powered with distributed ledger technology, essential to later evolve into a trading platform. And they also mentioned that this will be a public-private partnership project and will serve as a global registry that will fill the gap and be able to basically implement this thing. Such an additional layer of transparency will act as a push factor to enhance transparency, hence augmenting the TA efforts of IMF-WB. In the first phase, the purpose of the DTP would be to enhance the transparency of sovereign debt. So basically be able to see bonds, loans, and guarantees. It will be transparent, i.e. on a ledger, issuance data, and provide innovative knowledge on how to enhance better debt management, sustainability, and accountability in particular in emerging countries. In the second phase, the DTP would undergo technical upgrades and potentially evolve into a full-fledged trading platform. So all things that we've heard are possible to do on the XRP ledger at this moment, but we still haven't seen that implementation yet. We still haven't seen it really kind of go that far. Its main function would be to gather and consolidate buying and selling interest to deepen the secondary market for LICs and LMICs, debt, and enhance price discovery and efficiency. So efficiency, obviously, something that the XRPL can do well, and transparency, something that is baked into any distributed ledger technology. Well, it is certain that the private sector can play a major role in disciplining the sovereign borrowers via registering and sharing key information on the individual debt transactions. This is much easier if data from the largest private leaders and creditors are registered, pooled, recorded, and stored in an independent global repository in the form of an online platform that can be accessible not only to the international financial institutions, i.e. the WGB and the IMF, but also to civil society organizations, donors, and debt charities. So they want it to be widely available, the access to that information, and transparent, obviously. The platform can be powered using digitization, in particular distributed ledger technology, so DLT. And they're saying here G20 finance ministers and central bank governors reiterated the importance of the joint effort undertaken by both borrowers and creditors, official and private, to improve debt transparency and secure debt sustainability, called on by the IMF and WBG to continue their efforts to strengthen borrowers' capacity in the area of debt recording, monitoring and reporting, debt management, public financial management, and domestic resource mobilization. So, debt transparency and debt sustainability. Well, where have we heard that term before? The World Economic Forum posted this in a document that they released back in May of 2018. So a fairly old document, but looking out to global financial and monetary systems for the year 2030. Now, does that sound familiar? Agenda 2030? Sustainability Goals 2030? Let's continue. And if we just go down here, we can see some of the broader implications. So first, increases the public investment financed by issuing long-term debt at fixed interest rates. In the current low interest rate environment, again, let's remember this is 2018, in which real interest rates are generally equal or lower to real growth rates, such investments will not threaten debt sustainability. So these guys, in terms of this report, also focused on debt sustainability and should improve it by crowding in private investment and increasing long-term growth. They go on to say redistribution from households with low marginal propensity to consume to households with large propensity to consume would also help. This calls for progressive taxation as well as effective ways to tax offshore wealth. So they're talking about something a little bit different. However, they do mention the debt sustainability part here, which again is a key talking point in this IMF document. The other thing that I wanted to point out here, so this is from the Bank for International Settlements, debt sustainability and monetary policy, the case for ECB asset purchases. We incorporate monetary policy into a model of stochastic debt sustainability analysis and evaluate the impact of unconventional policies on sovereign debt dynamics. The model optimizes debt financing to trade off financing costs with reduced risk, risks. We show that the ECB Pandemic Emergency Response Program sustainability substantially improved debt sustainability. So again, another point here talking about debt sustainability since the pandemic for Euro area sovereigns with a high debt stock without PEPP debt would be on an increasing unsustainable trajectory with high probability, while with asset purchases it is sustainable and the debt ratio is expected to return to pre-pandemic levels by about 2030. So another interesting case here with regards to that 2030 projection. Again, if you remember this World Economic Forum document published in 2018 was also talking about the global financial and monetary system in 2030. So debt sustainability and transparency, key talking points here. Since this document did come out from the IMF, now collaborating with G20 countries, talking about distributed ledger technology as well, I think one could surmise quite accurately that Ripple and XRP are likely involved. Also consider, those connections with the World Economic Forum and the Bank for International Settlements. Is G20 adoption in collaboration with the IMF just around the corner for a new debt transparency platform utilizing RippleNet and DLT technology? Signs are looking favorable, but that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.